There are some algebraic problems that involve simple interest. Now, just as a reminder of what simple interest is, if we have $4,500 and we borrow it at 4% simple interest per year, then the amount of interest payable for 1 year is 4,500 times 4%, 4,500 times 4 divided by 100. Or you could do 4,500 times 0.04. In any case, you get $180. So if you wanted to get the interest for 5 years, you'd have to multiply the 180 by 5. So you get 5 times 180, $900. Or if you wanted to be quicker about it, you would just do 4,500 times 4% times 5. So, in general, if you want to calculate the interest that you need to pay on some kind of principal, the original amount that's invested or borrowed, and that value is called C, or C is used for that value. And if R is the simple interest, the interest rate that is, for a time of n years, then the interest you can get by doing C, the amount invested, times R, the interest rate, times n, the number of years. Just notice that R has to be written as a decimal. So don't write it as 5.7%, write it as R equals 0.057 instead. If you see the abbreviation PA for per annum, it means each year, per year. So let's look at example 3. It's a $24,000 car. So 24,000 is the C, the amount that's borrowed. The interest is 5.5%. So just think, if it's 5.5% as a decimal, it's going to be, well, you'll see. If it's 30 months, well, it isn't quite a number of years. Can you think about how many years this would be? So, if you think about 30 months, that's 2.5 years. That's 2.5 years. Our formula is I equals CRN. And that's going to be equal to 24,000 times the interest rate, which isn't, we don't write down 5.5, we write down 0.055 for the interest rate as a decimal. And then the 2.5 is the number of years. Multiply those together and we'll get $3,300. Now, in example 4, it tells you that there's a 10-year investment and that it's at a rate of 6% per annum. And it tells you that the final value is 2,000 Swiss francs. And it asks you to find out how much was invested at the start of the 10 years. Now, that I that we have right here, that I, is the amount of interest. And so when we're thinking about the final value is going to be the original amount, C, plus the interest. But the first thing we can do is get an expression for the interest. The interest is going to be equal to the original amount, which was C, times 6%, which is 0.06 as a decimal, times 10, the number of years. If we rearrange that equation, or if we do the 10 times 0.06, we should get I equal to 0.6C. And then the final value of the investment is going to be equal to the original amount invested, C, plus I, the amount of interest that was added to it. And if you think about the interest, we've said up here, the interest is equal to 0.6C. So we can replace the I with 0.6C. And then if we've got effectively 1C plus 0.6C, that's going to give us 1.6C, 1 plus 0.6C. And that whole thing, right, that final value of the investment is supposed to be equal to 2000. So 1.6C equals 2000. We can divide both sides then by 1.6. So we have 2000 divided by 1.6 is equal to the C. And then if we solve that, 2000 divided by 1.6 should be 1,250 Swiss francs.